Hello and welcome to section 23 of the Grand Tour of Northumberland. Today we're going to be looking at some Roman camps and going through the Otterburn live ranges, so join us for 23.
Digging through a closet with old CDs, past lives in boxes, music absorbed till it seeped from my skin. Can't stand to hear it. Means more to me than photographs. Pictures of backyard and northern sunsets are all that exist in my mind. Freshly cut lines and daytime sprinklers, spider webs on a grey wooden fence. I remember the comedian.
So we're starting at Rochester again, the last cafe in England. However, today Neil isn't with me, so this time I'm joined by Jayson and Melina. So we're leaving the A68 and we're going up this track here, just on the edge of Rochester. So the weather today is not the best. It was forecast to be alright today actually. It was supposed to be rain during the night and it was supposed to clear today, but we've got like a fine drizzle and there's low cloud and hopefully it'll clear up, but sadly I think we might miss the spectacular views on this walk, which is unfortunate. So here we're entering the live firing range. You need to check beforehand if you're allowed to come down here or not. Over there is a flagpole, and if you're flying the red flag, it means you can't come this way. But today is a non-firing day. So over there is Bremenium, which is the old Roman fort that we saw on the last section. And in this vicinity here is the remains of an old Roman camp, which you can't really see much from the ground, but from the air is a different story. This camp is actually two camps on top of each other. The original was 11.6 hectares and would have held approximately 4,500 soldiers and was likely part of the initial invasion force around 79 AD. The second, which is the camp you are now viewing, was 3.6 hectares and would have held around 1,400 soldiers and likely a stopping place en route to the Antonine Wall. This is the only bit of rough ground that we have to cross. You can see clearly the mound that they built for the camp that was in this area. Obviously you'll see it better on the drone footage. So because most of this section is on road, and this is the only rough bit of ground, I'm busy wearing hiking shoes. But my feet are already getting wet despite them being waterproof supposedly. The sheepfold down there looks as though it's been built with some of the Roman stones. That's definitely Roman carving in the stones there. I think there is where we're supposed to have gone. Yeah. So we went astray in the grass in the swamp, which was a very good start. So we're absolutely soaked because of the wet grass. What we need to do is we need to be over there. So at some point over there, the path veered off that way, and we've kind of come this way instead. So we're going to head cross country over there, back onto the path, and then onto the road. So this little bit of rough ground has turned out to be very rough ground, and you will need boots to cross this field. The road's just there, but once you get onto the road, it's road work all the way. It's just getting to the road is really difficult. Okay, so that wasn't the best idea. Yeah, basically the path just disappears. Like on the satellite there's a clear path, but it just vanishes. And it's just marshland across there. So you need boots for that. There's no getting away from it. Eventually we got onto some road. I don't think it's the right road for, but we'll get back on the right road. But as you can see, absolutely soaked. Well, my shoes are waterproof, my socks aren't, so the water's transferred through my socks into my shoes. And everyone's the same, wet feet. So that's the track that we should have come out on. And somehow we ended up over there, and we ended up crossing here, but we didn't cross the track. So, unsure why that was the case. But we are heading this way. So almost immediately once we're on the road, there's another Roman camp here, and there's apparently another one over there just the other side of those trees. This camp is about 1.7 hectares and would have only held around 600 soldiers, possibly for the workers who built Dere Street. So without the aerial footage, you would never believe that there was a Roman camp in there. It just looks like a field full of sheep. This camp was enormous, too big to capture on drone properly, and almost half a kilometre long and 16.2 hectares. It would have housed a full legion of around 5,400 men plus up to 1,000 auxiliaries, and is more likely connected with the 208-210 AD invasion of Caledonia. Obviously this was the Roman road of Dere Street that we're on now. So these camps were on either side of the road. Dere Street was built by the Romans as a road between York and the Antonine Wall, passing through Corbridge, which was on section 2 of the Grand Tour. It's sometimes also referred to as Watling Street.
We're gonna die. Oh my god. It wants to eat your soul. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This side here is another Roman camp. And again, you can't really see anything from the ground. But because there's a lot of cattle around, we're not going to put the drone up. Yeah. So we'll use a Google image for this one, I think. This camp was another large one, half a kilometre in length and 19.24 hectares, large enough for 1.5 legions, 7,700 soldiers. Over where those trees are, on the other side of the trees, there's a place called Long Cairn, and that's one of the oldest places in Northumberland. It's an old burial cairn. Sadly, we can't go across and have a look at it. It's unclear why there were so many Roman camps along the road. It could just be because of the road, and when they got tired they stopped and camped. Or it could have been part of the invasion force that we discussed in section 10 of the Grand Tour. There's some remains of ammunition being fired. The Otterburn training area was first established in 1911 as an artillery range and a training area for the newly formed Territorial Army, and was originally 20,000 acres. We're going to use this shed area to keep out the wind, just put our backs against the shed, you know, but it's covered in sheep droppings. Pity me, no vehicles. This here is a grenade range, and there's a bunker. Clear road after throwing grenades. So here we have a bunker, and as you can see inside, it's flooded. You got some more features over there where they were busy throwing the grenades. Over there we've got a tank and some old vehicles which are used for target practice, and we'll send a drone over to get a closer look because I don't want to walk across there. Just looking back where we've been, very beautiful.
Look at the colour.
Just a reminder, and then we've just spotted this awesome waterfall here. It's quite a big, substantial waterfall if it was in full flow. Very cool. It looks like there's just enough space down there for a tent. Shame it's on a live firing range though. So here we pass Featherwood Farm, which is right next to the waterfall. To the west of the farm is an old blockhouse once used by the residents during live fire in case a shell hit the farmhouse. The range was extended to 58,000 acres and can accommodate 1,300 visiting troops. The range is used for artillery detonations, all infantry weapons and restricted armour vehicle firing, fighter aircraft and attack helicopter air-to-surface firing, parachute drop zones, and facilities from arms 5.56mm caliber to artillery and 30mm guns on armoured reconnaissance vehicles. However, the boggy terrain prevents the use of main battle tanks. Now we're getting a lot closer to the Cheviot now. It's beautiful. There's the Cheviot in view now. It's very beautiful. It's windy as well. .360 views. In 2005, the range was upgraded to allow training with the 155mm artillery system, otherwise known as the AS-90. and multiple launch rocket system, also known as the MLRS. You can't really get sick of those views, can you? It's awesome. So in this area here is the site of an old Roman camp, and again you can't see it from the ground. There were two camps in the vicinity. The first was 15.8 hectares, large enough for a legion plus auxiliary, around 6,300 men. The second, even bigger, at 17.9 hectares, big enough for 7,000 men. So we stopped in the middle of this Roman camp for a break and enjoy the views. And just look at those views. Absolutely awesome. We're continuing up the hill. So Fell Moor comes into view, and we're parked on the other side of Fell Moor. Just look at the views, the Cheviot. There's Windy Gyle over there, Hedge uphill. Amazing. "360 degrees of Northumberland countryside, and we're the only people here. Unbelievable." My daughter's setting the pace. So there's Fell Moor, and this area is where the big guns pound. Yeah, Spotter's hut over there. 360 degrees. How amazing is this? This here is Middle Golden Pot. Originally there was thought to be 5 in total, only 3 are mentioned and only 2 still exist. Although sometimes mistaken as milestones because they're on Dere Street, they're actually medieval in origin, and they form the basis of stone crosses. That's the road we came in on actually, but we're heading in this direction. The crosses were once common as Wayfarer markers in the 14th century. But these particular ones were recorded in a charter in 1228. It's been suggested that they once formed the parish boundary between Elsdon and the chapelry of Holystone. Although it could be a boundary, it's unlikely to be between Holystone and Elsdon, because Holystone lies to the east and this is to the west of Elsdon. So this section of Dere Street is also known as the Camel's Path. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with camels. It's a corruption of the spelling of Camel Path. Path means the path that climbs up a hill. And this here is Outer Gold Pot. Again, another base of a cross. Outer Golden Pot may have been used as a grave marker for Sir James Douglas, 2nd Earl of Douglas, who was killed at the Battle of Otterburn in 1388. I'm about to go over the other side of Fell Moor, so this is the last look at these views. As I said, this is the firing range for the big guns. So this here is a commemorative plaque for Glenn Miller, Anthony Hellstrip and Peter Butchers, who were Royal Marines and died in training in 1982. They were training for the Falcons. So over there is the top of Fell Moor. which is Northumberland's most dangerous dewey, because it's right in the middle of the live firing range, which I did with Blamhoff Mick. If you haven't seen Mick's channel, check it out, Blamhoff. I'll put a link below. Very good. And over on that side is Raven's No, which I did with my daughter. It's another dewey. Now we're about to say goodbye to this view as we turn over the crest, and we'll have another view when we get there, which will be equally spectacular, trust me. As we turn the crest, you can see the Elsdon Hills over there in Scotland. Stunning. We'll be walking along that ridge soon. There's the back end of Fillmore. Beautiful place, absolutely beautiful. And there's our first glance at Chew Green, the Roman fort over there. We'll be doing more about Chew Green on the next section. Just look at that view over there, it's just amazing. That one there is Brown Heart Low. You can see well into the southern uplands over there in Scotland. What a place, eh? Really nice this. And so ends section 24. Yeah. And so ends section 23 of the Grand Tour of Northumberland. So, Melina, how did you find that one?
It was a nice chill walk, lovely scenery, and a lot of sheep.
So, Jayson, how did you find that walk?
It was easy enough going. It's nice scenery. It's worth doing it just for the scenery.
So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button for the next adventure, share with your friends on social media, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Digging through a closet, walled cities, past lives in boxes. Music absorbed till it's seeped from my skin.